You want to have players with a championship pedigree. The three players here, all champions, and sitting in the back and just talking to them, what they bring is not just basketball. They'll bring knowledge, they'll bring experience, they'll bring competitiveness, they'll bring toughness. But the biggest thing I think for us as an organization now, I think we've got pieces now that we can compete and compete for a championship, and that's our goal.
July 12th, 2013. The fatal day when the Brooklyn Nets ruined their future. A trade was made between the Boston Celtics and Brooklyn Nets for former NBA champions Kevin Garnett, Jason Terry, and Paul Pierce. The Nets, they gave up some role players and their 2014, 2017, and 2018 first-round picks. This trade on paper was the biggest heist of that offseason. This completed the Nets' super team philosophy and created a lineup of Deron Williams, Joe Johnson, Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, and Brook Lopez, who all combined for 35 All-Star appearances at the time. And with a solid bench and coaching staff, this team seemed dangerous. Until reality struck. As we come to know in the current day, this did not turn out for the Nets and their win-now mentality. They gave too many assets and is considered one of the worst trades in NBA history. Most of this blame was on their GM at the time, Billy King, who was notorious for being a big spender in most trades. The first-round picks given up in this trade birthed NBA stars such as Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum in 2016 and 2017 respectively, with their last first-round pick being used in the Boston Celtics, Cleveland Cavaliers, Isaiah Thomas and Kyrie Irving trade, which didn't turn out the best, but nonetheless, the Celtics continue to reap the benefits of that trade almost a decade later, becoming NBA champions and always being in title contention. But what if the Brooklyn Nets didn't trade their first-round picks? Would the NBA be different? Would anything be the same? The answer is a big yes. Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Matt here, and as I said in the previous video, switching it up a little bit, doing something different. I hope you guys enjoy, and I hope you enjoy the little commentary. But all things aside, happy holidays, happy new year to everybody. Let's get into this video. What if the Nets didn't trade their pick? It's not going to be exactly a rebuild, but I will put my hand in the cookie jar when I need to, and let's just see how it goes. So let's get into it. All right, so here we are, re-simming the 2013, 2014, and beyond Brooklyn Nets if they didn't trade for KG, Paul Pierce, and Jason Terry. Now, this is the roster before the trade. It's as accurate as I could. That's also in regards to the roster itself. We'll go over to all players. So, we got LeBron, KD, Chris Paul, Kobe. Injuries are on. D Rose in his prime as of right now. And yeah, things are going to be different. Things are going to look crazy. As for Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett and Jason Terry, who was also in that trade, they're still here. They're still on the Boston Celtics. Who knows? Maybe they can make a run and rewrite history. But what I was really thinking of during the making of this video was what would have happened if they didn't trade them to the Nets on the Celtics side. Because not only did that set up their championship future, as I mentioned in the start of the video, but there were teams interested in trading for Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett outside of the Brooklyn Nets. For Paul Pierce, the stuff that I saw, which you'll see on the screen right now, was that the Cavaliers were very interested. And same thing with the Milwaukee Bucks. And with the directions those franchises were going at the time, it just didn't really make sense to me. Considering LeBron went to back to Cleveland, I believe, the following year. So I don't even know if that would have worked out. But for Kevin Garnett, he didn't want to be traded unless Paul Pierce was included, which I respect that. That is mad respect to KG for that. And then, Jason Terry was really on the super decline here. So, he won a championship with the Mavericks 2 seasons before this. As we go over here and check his career stats. Oh, wait a second. Yeah, so he was with Dallas and Atlanta. I didn't even know he was with Atlanta. But anyway, won a championship with Dallas and probably one of his best seasons of his career. But he was on the decline to this point. And yeah, so enough with all of that. To just set up the guidelines for what I'm going to be doing here, Essentially, like I said in my semi-introduction, I'm only going to be intervening when I deem necessary. For example, with this current roster, with Darren Williams and Joe Johnson being on the roster, if this was current day, probably going to be a play-in team. In their primes, this is a playoff team. Brook Lopez is still young, up and coming. Sean Livingston, yeah, wow. Okay, yeah, that's accurate. AK-47, Alon Anderson, Chris Humphreys, and Gerald Wallace. So the trade package was, I believe, Chris Humphreys, Gerald Wallace, and then maybe somebody else. But it was the 3 first-round picks. And, yeah, obviously changed both franchises. One for better, one for worse. But anyway, at the deadline coming up, Darren Williams is probably going to get moved. And Joe Johnson's probably going to get moved because the goal of this team is to be bad. To maximize the potential of getting great players on great draft picks. And I'll show you guys right now the mock draft. But it's semi-accurate. I tried my hardest to find a draft class that just wouldn't have Jokic be a 90 in 2 seasons. And same thing with Embiid. So hopefully, we have more proper progression. But enough of the yapping. What would have happened? Let's see how different the NBA is. And yeah, let's get right into it. So what I actually am going to decide to do, instead of trading them at the trade deadline, I'm actually going to look to move them now. Because the trade for KG and Paul Pierce and Jason Terry was made in the offseason. And with it being the beginning of the season now, I think it would make the most sense to ship these guys out and to fully embrace the rebuild. And if we go and take a look around this time, we have the obvious contenders here. We got OKC, Miami, I guess Dallas, even the Clippers. At this time, we're looking on the come up, bunch of second round exits. That's what Doc Rivers does for you. Even guys like the Lakers trying to give Kobe another run with Steve Nash here. Dwight Howard just left them. And then, Houston, they're the ones that got Dwight. Maybe they could use a Darren Williams or even a Joe Johnson. Or even San Antonio, they can make one more run and try to get one of those guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to analyze. I'm going to send both of those guys away. And that'll probably be the biggest thing I do for this team for the foreseeable future. So you're going to see those trades right now. So first things first, I'm going to be sending Joe Johnson to the Houston Rockets to team up with James Harden and Dwight Howard. With Harden still being on his rookie contract and Dwight, not making that much. They have the cap space. They're going to give up Patrick Beverley in this trade, which may rub some people the wrong way, but I think it's worth it. They're giving up their 2014 first-round pick unprotected, which is this season. And you know what? It might be more or less what they would have gotten in real life. We don't know. But I think that's fair for both sides. And now Darren Williams is going to be on the move. All right, so I think even though the teams themselves may not ever do blockbuster like this, I think in terms of the situation, this trade makes the most sense. Darren Williams coming off of, a very pedestrian season by his standards. He was obviously on the decline at this time, but he's still considered one of the best playmakers in the league and one of the best point guards in the league, period, during this period of time. So honestly, to give Carmelo and JR another shot to contend, I think it makes total sense with Amari aging, getting a little bit worse, Tyson Chandler doing the same, trying to get one more star to give Carmelo one more opportunity before he might leave the New York Knicks. I think it makes total sense. Darren Williams is a New York Knick, and now they have a lineup of Darren Williams, J.R. Smith, Carmelo Anthony, Amari Stoudemire, Tyson Chandler. It gives them a chance to run in the East, and the Nets finally embrace the rebuild. And this is going to be technically Brook Lopez's team. And we're going to go to the end of the season, check out the standings, and see what happens going forward. So let's see. LeBron, MVP. Victor Oladipo wins Rookie of the Year this time around. Mo Williams, Sixth Man of the Year for the Portland Trailblazers. Anthony Davis, Defensive Player of the Year. Kawhi, Most Improved. And Keith Smart of the New Orleans Pelicans wins Coach of the Year. Now, for the All-NBA teams, we got John Wall, Westbrook, LeBron, Blake Griffin, DeMarcus Cousins. For the All-NBA second team, Chris Paul, Curry, AD, Durant, and Bynum. Wow, Andrew Bynum. All-NBA third team, Dwayne Wade, Kobe, Kawhi, Duncan, Vucevic. Nikola Vucevic with 13-9 goes on the All-NBA third team. That's incredible. All-defense first team, Paul George, Dwayne Wade, Anthony Davis, LeBron, DeAndre Jordan. And for the second team, Kobe, Brandon Knight of the Milwaukee Bucks, Tim Duncan, Kawhi, and Dwight Howard. For the rookie teams, Oladipo, Michael Carter-Williams, who was a Rookie of the Year in real life, Cody Zeller, CJ McCollum, and Dennis Schroeder. And then for the second team, we got Giannis, Rudy Gobert, Hollis Thompson, really? John Jenkins, and Mason Plumlee. We were bad. We were very bad. Checking out the standings for this season, Miami was the first seed overall, and we were not as bad as the Philadelphia 76ers were, apparently. But as of right now, projected to get second, third, fourth, about the fifth best odds to get number one. But here we are checking out the standings. Miami, first seed in the East. The Hawks with Jeff Teague, Kyle Korver. This team in 2015 had a nice run, so they're on the come up there. The Indiana Pacers. And then the Raptors, Chicago, Detroit makes it with 38 wins. Oh, the East was terrible. And then for the West here, we got the Pelicans with Drew Holiday, Tyreek Evans, Al-Farouq Aminu, and AD is injured. So that might make things interesting in the first round. Memphis with Mike Conley, Quincy Pondexter, Zach Randolph, Marc Gasol as second seed. The Clippers, OKC. What happened to Houston? They just missed the playoffs. So I guess that trade for Joe Johnson didn't really work out. Oh, what happened to New York? Didn't really work out for New York either. I mean, you know what? They didn't give up a lot. I mean, giving up their first round pick is tough, but if you have a chance to go get guys like Darren Williams and Joe Johnson to help your team, I think you go and do it. So we're going to see. Yes. So without Anthony Davis playing, wait, let's check this out. Right? So for game one, AD was in the whole series. And they just sold. Wow. So did AD force himself to play? I think AD might have played through injury there. That's crazy. Alec Burks, Gordon Hayward, Enes Kanter, Ian Clark lead the way for the Utah Jazz, and they knock off the 1 seed and Trey Burke, the 1 seeded New Orleans Pelicans. Miami and Chicago, and then Indiana and Milwaukee on the other side. It is going to be one of Miami, Milwaukee, which is crazy. I guess they should have traded for Paul Pierce. OKC and Memphis. And the Memphis Grizzlies with Mike Conley, Zach Randolph, Marc Gasol, James Johnson, Ed Davis, Quincy Pondexter make the NBA Finals in 2014. The Spurs get bounced by this Memphis team. We could take it game by game, but I would bet money. Oh my goodness. I put the wrong money on the house. Maybe not. We're going to Simcast and we're going to see who's coming up big. Oh man. The Memphis Grizzlies in the resimulation in year one win the NBA Finals. This team was really good. I like that Memphis team a lot. And it's, you know what? It is what it is. It appears that KG is going to call it quits now. Same thing with Ray Allen, who I guess was injured during that series. But LeBron comes up short once again. And if he didn't sign an extension with Miami, which he usually does, we could be seeing something really interesting. Because in this offseason, LeBron went back to Cleveland. So I don't know, but draft lottery here, it is paramount for the Nets to get a top pick in this draft. They have 3 first-round picks. Maybe they get lucky. And they don't. Cleveland gets number 1. Just like they did in real life. What were their odds? I know they were pretty... They were at the 8th odds to get number 1. And they jump up, just like they did in real life. And they traded this pick, I believe, for Kevin Love. And we dropped to 6 and 8. Wow. What happens in this universe? Who does Cleveland take? And they take Jabari Parker. Wow. Is this not the Wiggins draft? It was. Wiggins went technically number 1. And he was traded to Minnesota. Dallas at 2. They get Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid teams up with Dirk Nowitzki, Monte Ellis, Shawn Marion. Very interesting. Aaron Gordon ends up staying with the Magic. The Sixers, they get Zach LaVine. Andrew Wiggins falls to 5 and goes to Phoenix. Could possibly rewrite his career. Who are the Nets going to take here at number 6? Doug McBuckets at number 6. And they miss out on Julius Randle. Nikola Jokic is still on the board.
Bruh.
And they take Dante Exum. What is this team doing? What is this team doing? Where is Jokic? Jokic goes 10. Jokic goes 10 to Portland. The Nets fumble. And the Hornets trade the pick to us. The Hornets traded for Brook Lopez. They take Nick Stauskas. What is going on? A generational fumble as Boston trades up for Glenn Robinson. And we're trading our pick now. And we traded to Dallas for scrubs. I would have taken Bogdan Bogdanovic over any guy that was selected. Absolute generational fumble. And we get... Oh, you know what? It's all saved. Thanasis Antetokounmpo is going to save the franchise. The Bucks need to bring him back. We have an Antetokounmpo now. He is going to be the face of the Brooklyn Nets. That is disgusting. This team sold to the highest degree. Unbelievable. Just in terms of what we know now. I mean, their overalls are pretty solid, but I don't know what their development's going to look like. I'm leaving everything up to the CPU. Chris Paul is the leading guy here in free agency, and the Rockets are looking to make a bid and get him early. Carmelo Anthony might become a Golden State Warrior. He is not fully interested in the Knicks offer. Dwight Howard has 0 offers. Drew Holiday has 0 offers. Kevin Love is a free agent, and the Raptors are looking to bring him in. Rudy Gay is here as well. This free agency class looks pretty good. Mike Conley doesn't even have an offer. We'll simulate, and let's see, maybe there's new polarity in the league. What's going to happen to these big names? And about 4 years early, Chris Paul leaves the Clippers and becomes a Houston Rocket to team up with James Harden. Derrick Rose stays with Chicago. Carmelo Anthony does indeed go to the Golden State Warriors to team up with Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green. Wow. So they hop in on the small forward sweepstakes a little earlier. And instead of them going out of their way to get Kevin Durant, they make a big move and get Carmelo Anthony. DeMarcus Cousins stays with the Kings. Dwight Howard leaves the Rockets and goes to the Pacers to team up with Paul George. Wow, incredible. Marc Gasol stays. Drew Holiday ends up staying. Kevin Love goes to the Jazz and leaves Minnesota, and he does not go to Cleveland. Josh Smith stays with the Pistons, or he goes back to the Pistons. No, wait. I could have sworn Josh Smith was a Piston at one point. He might have signed here in the offseason. I'd have to double check that. I'm probably tweaking out. But he goes to the Pistons. Tony Parker stays with the Spurs. And Rudy Gay is also going to the Golden State Warriors. Whoa. Mike Conley stays with the Grizzlies. Al Horford stays with the Hawks. Zach Randolph to the Raptors. DJ stays with the Clips. And Roy Hibbert also stays with the Pacers. Very interesting. Wow. Just insane moves. And this team is looking disgusting. Wow, this team's terrible. They bring in Jeff Green, and they signed, I believe, who did they sign? I saw they brought in somebody else, or maybe they ended up not signing them at all. Yeah, oh, duh. They bring in Monte Ellis. Oh, wait, we traded for Monte Ellis. I'm tweaking out. I'm at a loss for words right now. This team is going to be awful. They signed Devin Harris. They bring him back after they traded him for Darren Williams. This team's going to be crazy bad. obviously putting themselves in position for the next draft pick. But let's take a look around the league and see these new teams. What a crazy offseason. So, some interesting things, obviously, around the league. The new duo of Paul George and Dwight Howard. Incredible duo. This team could definitely make a run with Roy Hibbert, David West, Lance Stevenson, even an old Danny Granger. But you know what? Paul George and Dwight Howard being their front two is a recipe for success in this simulation. Maybe their lack of a real point guard. Ramon Sessions is a starting point guard technically. Just not ideal, but anything's possible in this simulation. And then looking towards the Rockets, Chris Paul and James Harden team up years early. They still have Joe Johnson on the outside, but those two, we've seen what they could do. They won over 60 games together in the 2018 season. Incredible stuff there. Chris Paul maybe making a career-altering move a lot earlier. Then we move on, checking out OKC. Their biggest move, they added Joakim Noah, but obviously with Westbrook and Kevin Durant, this team has a huge, huge advantage in the Western Conference. But they have a tough task at hand when they take on the Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Carmelo Anthony, Rudy Gay, Harrison Barnes, Draymond Green, David Lee, and they drafted Marcus Smart, Golden State Warriors. This team could start their dynasty. Not much might change in the world of the NBA because the Golden State Warriors might run through. And then we take a look, obviously, at our roster with Monta Ellis leading the way. We got Jeff Green. This team is a dumpster fire. Rookies will be getting a lot of minutes. No real moves will be made. Let's see what happens in this crazy simulation. Anthony Davis of the New Orleans Pelicans is your MVP. Joel Embiid is Rookie of the Year. Reggie Jackson, Sixth Man of the Year. Anthony Davis gets Defensive Player of the Year. And Giannis, the rise is most improved. And Micah Nori of the Utah Jazz gets Coach of the Year. All-NBA First Team, John Wall, Kemba Walker, LeBron James, and DeMarcus Cousins. All-NBA Second Team, Russell Westbrook, Bradley Beal, Blake Griffin, Kevin Love, and Nikola Vucevic once again. And then for the third team, Chris Paul, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, Kawhi Leonard, and Joel Embiid. Wow, excellent first season for Embiid there. All Defensive First Team, Paul George, Dwayne Wade, Anthony Davis, LeBron, Marc Gasol. For the second team, Rondo, Brandon Knight, who is now a Laker, Kawhi Leonard, Draymond Green, and Chris Anderson. For the rookie first team, Joel Embiid, Julius Randle, Yusuf Nurkic, Nikola Jokic, Jabari Parker. For the second team, Zach LaVine, Aaron Gordon, Doug McDermott, Andrew Wiggins, and Dario Saric. Notice how only one Brooklyn Net is on there. This team was bad. Who on this Utah Jazz team is really showing out for them? They got George Hill, Aaron Aflalo, Gordon Hayward, Kevin Love, Rudy Gobert, Trey Burke, Alec Burks. This team's solid. First seed? I don't know about that. AD won MVP from the fourth seed, but we're going to check out the stats for this season. And Monta Ellis led the way off the bench. Doug McDermott with 14. Andre Blash. We have Paul Pierce. Oh my gosh, dude. Okay, well, wait. Hold on. Timeout. Hold on. Like I said, I left everything automated. That's insane that they ended up trading for Paul Pierce. So I guess we're going to cut the stats short. Let's check out these trades. Anything crazy I do want to see. So we traded Devin Harris and Gerald Wallace, and we got Paul Pierce and a first-round pick from them. So hold on. Now, the title of the video might be a little misleading now, considering we do have Paul Pierce. However, we know the circumstances, and that's that. So Paul Pierce ended up on the team, and we actually got a first-round pick from that. We also traded away... No! We traded away Thanasis. Oh, I'm distraught. But we get a first-round pick from that. Kyle Korver got traded. Crazy moves. I guess I could check out this team. So Paul Pierce didn't have a terrible season, but he's aging. He might retire. Maybe he requested a trade. I'm not sure. But Nick Stauskas, who led the way for us, was injured. And Dante Exum didn't do too much. Simulating the round of the playoffs, we got Utah, New Orleans, OKC, and Portland. Miami did not get through to the second round. Indiana with Dwight Howard. We can check out how he did this year. He averaged 11 and 11 practically. And Paul George had a pretty solid season for himself. Roy Hibbert as well. That team's dangerous. But they do not get past the Atlanta Hawks. And OKC beats Portland. And New Orleans beats Utah. We could take it game by game. OKC wins game 1. And the Hawks win game 1 there. Game 2. New Orleans ties it up, but Atlanta goes up 2-0 on the Washington Wizards, who have John Wall, Bradley Beal, Gerald Green, Greg Oden. Game 3 for both sides. Actually, I lied. Game 3 here, Washington picks up the W, and New Orleans goes up 2-1. Atlanta and New Orleans both up 3-1. They both cut it down to 3-2. New Orleans is NBA Finals bound. And Washington completes the comeback. New Orleans and Washington. Game 1. New Orleans gets the W. This team just continues to get better every season. Game 2 is a win. Game 3 is a win. Could they close it out? And it is all over. Anthony Davis, Finals MVP, standing next to Adam Silver. What a great run for them on to the offseason. I'm sure this is a glitch, but Shaq is here in the player retirements. Tim Duncan retires. Vince Carter retires. Alton Brand, Hito Turkoglu, Michael Finley, Richard Jefferson, Tracy McGrady, who was in the G League for some reason. NBA Draft Lottery. Just to quickly show you guys as a reminder, this is the Karl-Anthony Towns, Kristaps, D'Lo, Devin Booker class. No idea where the Nets are here. They're projected pick 4 and pick 4 only. And they jump up to pick 2. Oh, hold on a second. Wait a second. Wait a second. That just made me realize something. The Warriors missed the playoffs. Wow. I guess I never really followed up. Dallas down here. Wow. Lakers missed the playoffs. San Antonio just sneaks in. And Indiana, we saw, made a run. Washington there. Very, very interesting. But what is more interesting is who will the Brooklyn Nets take number 2 overall in the 2015 draft? Does Devin Booker stay a Phoenix Sun? He will not. As Karl-Anthony Towns goes number 1 to the Phoenix Suns, and the Brooklyn Nets are number 2. They take Kristaps Porzingis to lead them in the front court. Wow. Kristaps Porzingis. I'd say, as of right now, a very solid pick. Yeah, these were salary fillers, or roster fillers. But Kristaps is a Brooklyn Net. Monte Ellis and Mason Plumlee return. I don't know if this free agency class is going to be very strong. But we're going to check right now. Restricted. Darren Williams is here once again. Blake Griffin is unrestricted. Joe Johnson, Serge Ibaka. A little bit of a weaker class. Well, Kyrie was hurt for that run. JJ Redick. We'll see what happens. Let's see who signed where and what changes were made. Curry stays a Warrior. Harden stays with the Houston Rockets. Darren Williams signs with the Pistons. DeRozan stays with the Raptors. Blake Griffin goes to Washington and joins that Wizards team that was just in the NBA Finals. He teams up with John Wall and Bradley Beal. What an incredible get for them. Ty Lawson stays with Denver. Joe Johnson stays with the Rockets, so they're running it back. Serge stays with the Thunder. Tyreek Evans stays with the Pelicans. Redick returns. Jeff Teague returns. A lot of the same. Andrew Bynum looking to chase a ring. But not much has changed. Paul Millsap is a Spur now. And yeah, the Nets sign Anthony Morrow. They make no moves. They're in no position to. We know the drill. We'll check out player progression. Paul Pierce regresses as expected. Monte Ellis is still here. Doug McDermott goes up 1, Exum up 2, and Nick Stauskas just does not get better. Unfortunate. Here we are next season. We'll take a look around the league, see what's up, and we'll show you guys a compilation once again. So this time around, only 2 teams to showcase. The young Phoenix Suns with Andrew Wiggins and Karl Anthony Towns. Maybe they take the league by storm. And instead of them being together in Minnesota, they're together in Phoenix. A lot to unpack there. They still have Markieff Morris. They have Michael Kidd-Gilchrist. But outside of that, their team looks bleak, but the future is bright. And the other team to showcase is the Washington Wizards. John Wall, Blake Griffin, Bradley Beal. The highlights are only expected to be massive with John Wall and Blake Griffin lobs. It's basically Lob City, but with Blake Griffin being the sole superstar on every single lob. This season is going to be crazy. And we take a look here at the Nets. We know the drill. The rebuild continues. Who knows? Porzingis could really step up here. Hopefully our guys develop. And maybe playoffs are sooner than later. But let's go to the end of the season. 2015-16 NBA season. Anthony Davis, once again, is your MVP. Curry nowhere to be found this time around. Kristaps Porzingis wins your Rookie of the Year. Brandon Jennings, Sixth Man of the Year. Kawhi Leonard, DPOY. Nikola Jokic, Most Improved. And Keith Smart of the New Orleans Pelicans goes 65-17. All-NBA First Team, John Wall, Kyrie Irving, Anthony Davis, LeBron James, DeMarcus Cousins. Then Derrick Rose, Steph Curry, Blake Griffin, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Nikola Jokic. And All-NBA Third Team is Russell Westbrook, Bradley Beal, Kawhi Leonard, Julius Randle, and DeAndre Jordan. All-Defensive First Team, Paul George, Dwayne Wade, Kawhi Leonard, LeBron, DeAndre Jordan once again. In Defensive Second Team, Rondo, Iman Shumpert, interesting. Giannis Antetokounmpo, Anthony Davis, and Marc Gasol. And for the rookie teams, Kristaps Porzingis, D'Angelo Russell, Karl Anthony Towns, Devin Booker, and Jahlil Okafor. Then Willie Hernangomez, Frank Kaminsky, Trey Lyles, Terry Rozier, and I'm not sure if that's a real person. We'll check out the standings. We'll see what happened here. And the Washington Wizards, as expected, do retain the 1 seed. And I want to apologize because Gerald Green is also one of the best dunkers of all time. So him being on this team also makes a lot of sense. Detroit basketball with Darren Williams, who signed in free agency, and Josh Smith with KCP, Andre Drummond, Greg Monroe are the 2nd seed. Miami at the 3rd spot with Dwayne Wade, LeBron, Chris Bosh still hanging around. Philly at the 4th spot with Tony Snell, Jimmer Fredette, a bunch of rejects. Honest to God, how many of these guys are even in the league? Gone. He's in the league. Gone. Zach LaVine's in the league. Michael Carter-Williams out of the league. Bledsoe, nope. 2 guys in the league currently. Congratulations to Philly there. The Pacers with a drop-off with PG and Dwight. Maybe it was a one-and-done season. Toronto there, Chicago, Cleveland making some noise. But we are there at the bottom, tied with the New York Knicks. The Knicks don't have anything. They lost Carmelo. On to the West. New Orleans, far and away the 1st seed. Portland, they do have Dame. Their big 3 is insane. I guess I should have showcased them when Jokic got drafted, but they have Lillard, McCollum, and Aldridge and Jokic. This team could be pretty insane. OKC, you know what they're about. Utah, hanging around. Houston, making a little bit of noise. Maybe Chris Paul's injured. Chris Paul, he might be done for the season. That's a big injury for them. Golden State finally getting into the postseason. And it seems that they meshed up their rotation a little bit different. They had David Lee. I guess they got rid of him, or is he injured? He's injured. Dallas at the 7th spot, and Embiid still developing. Dirk's still playing at a decent level, and they have Jamal Crawford. They signed Jamal Crawford, I guess, in free agency. And San Antonio there at the 8th spot. But down at the bottom, Minnesota and Phoenix. There was not much expectations for Phoenix, as we know. Now, we're going to simulate the first round of the playoffs. New Orleans, Utah, Portland, Golden State, Washington, Philly, and Detroit and Toronto. Miami is just an afterthought in this simulation. Philly and Detroit in the conference finals. OKC didn't make it. Golden State couldn't get it past Portland. They went to 7. New Orleans and the Trailblazers, and Detroit and the Sixers. It'll be New Orleans and the Sixers. I believe the Pelicans are looking for 3 in a row right now. Game by game, the Sixers take game 1, Pelicans game 2, Pelicans game 3, Pelicans game 4. Sixers take another one, and they go to 7. This could be one of the craziest finals of all time. Sixers up big. Can they pull it out? Let's see. Pelicans down by 7 with 1:13 left to go. It would be very improbable, but possible if they can come back here. AD, the reigning MVP, guarded by Tristan Thompson, head over to Austin Rivers in the corner. They are wasting time. Eric Gordon is injured, but he is still playing, trying to fight for his team in the NBA Finals. Philly with no top players. Luke Babbitt misses the 3. They come up with the rebound. Jimmer Fredette might be leading a team to an NBA championship. This is the most bizarre thing I've seen in this simulation so far. Tony Snell as well. They make the improbable run. And I think a score here will absolutely, positively finish it. I don't even think it matters. 25 seconds left. The Philadelphia 76ers are going to win their first NBA championship since the 70s. And their first, in this case, it would be 15 years since their last appearance. But with that, Jimmer Fredette, top of the key, guarded by Rivers. He will be dribbling out this clock, and that will do it. The Philadelphia 76ers are your 2016 NBA champions. What an improbable run. I mean, just a weird roster. Not one player, I think, above like an 80, 82 maybe. Tony Snell is your finals MVP. I've never seen this in any 2K sim, where the highest player on the team is an 82 overall. Improbable, but not impossible. The Sixers do it. And here are the retirements. We know what we're here for. Draft, lottery. I don't even know where the Nets are projected, but they dropped to 4. The Timberwolves and Suns repeat as the top 2. Once again, the Lakers are there. Got to see if they still have Kobe. I wonder. Because, you know, he's prepping for his farewell tour soon in real life. But he's still there hanging around, loyal to the franchise. He's still at Pau Gasol, and they're going to get some help. They're going to get some help. And this draft class is pretty good. Ben Simmons, Jamal Murray, Brandon Ingram, Jaylen Brown, Chris Dunn, Domantas Sabonis, Buddy Hield, DeJounte Murray. Who is going number 1? So in real life, as we know, this pick for the Celtics became Jaylen Brown, who will be going number 1 to the Minnesota Timberwolves, and it is Ben Simmons. Went number 1 to the Sixers in real life, who just won a championship in this simulation. Phoenix at number 2, they get Jaylen Brown. So Brooklyn will not be getting the guy that Boston selected. And the Lakers at 3 get their guy, Brandon Ingram. They got him in real life. He will be going there with Kobe. Great stuff. Who are the Nets taking? Jamal Murray. So it will be Jamal Murray and Kristaps Porzingis. Maybe the Nets gave up on Dante Exum, and they get a nobody in the second round. Wow. So Jamal Murray, 76 overall, probably their overall-wise best selection that they could have gotten. So great pick for them. And check out the team options. There might be some heavy hitters here in this free agency. This was a big free agency class in real life. Anthony Davis, Paul George, Andre Drummond, John Wall is here. A lot of restricted guys. But who knows? Anything could happen in the NBA. So let's see. AD stays. Paul George stays. But John Wall has left the Washington Wizards. And I got to see how they could afford this. But he has joined LeBron, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh possibly on the Miami Heat. Drummond stays with the Pistons. Lillard stays. Bradley Beal stays. Barnes leaves the Warriors, goes to the Raptors. Eric Gordon leaves New Orleans and goes to Denver. Brook Lopez, we didn't see leave originally, but he re-signs with Charlotte. And Austin Rivers goes to Lakers, gets him some help. Gets Kobe some help. And Paul Pierce fittingly goes back to the Celtics after his run in Brooklyn, after all. Draymond stays with the Warriors. and we get Maurice Harkless and Kyle Singler. We'll check out the league in a second. Kristaps gets a lot better. Exum gets better. Plumlee gets better. And, you know, as predicted, Nick Stauskas does not get better. Tug McDermott, these guys are role players. I mean, the future's bright. We already know what that's about. Let's see around the league. Let's see what's changed. So just to right my mistake, we'll check out the Portland Trail Blazers, who have Lillard, Aldridge, McCollum, and Jokic. Damian Lillard and Jokic in real life during this time would be one of the best young duos in the league. And it goes without saying the type of talent that Nikola Jokic is. But this team could be dangerous now and can be dangerous going forward. I can only expect great things from them. And the other teams, you know, some of them under the radar, maybe a little bit, like the Sacramento Kings, but they have DeMarcus Cousins and Devin Booker. And they have Isaiah Thomas, who just hasn't been able to develop in this. But Devin Booker joining DeMarcus Cousins, he finally gets a number 2 that Sacramento failed to give him in real life. They could be interesting going forward. But the last team that could spark the most interest would be this Miami Heat team. LeBron, John Wall, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh. Now, Bosh and Wade are getting older. They're not in their primes. But adding John Wall adds a whole new dynamic to this roster. I mean, this is very exciting. LeBron gets another all-star teammate. It's very interesting to see what they will do. But John Wall and LeBron in their primes would have been an amazing duo. So we can only see what happens from here. And as we check out the Nets, we know what's up. Kristaps Porzingis, Dante Exum, Andre Balash, Mason Plumlee, Doug McDermott, bringing in Kyle Singler, Nick Stauskas, Jamal Murray. You can only go up when you're down. So let's see how this season turns out. Nikola Jokic wins his first MVP. Ben Simmons, Rookie of the Year. Tim Hardaway Jr., 6-man. AD DPOY. Devin Booker, Most Improved. Depends how you view the Most Improved Player award. But Buck Williams and the Portland Trail Blazers wins Coach of the Year. Who is this? And why is he All-NBA first team? Okay. Well, the up-and-coming Nate Wolters apparently is All-NBA first team with Russell Westbrook, Anthony Davis, LeBron James, and Nikola Jokic. All-NBA second team, Kyrie Irving, Steph Curry, Julius Randle, Giannis, and DeMarcus Cousins. And then Bradley Beal, Dennis Schroeder, Blake Griffin, Kevin Love, and Joel Embiid on the third team. All-defensive first team, Paul George, Nate Wolters, Anthony Davis, LeBron James, and DeAndre Jordan, followed by Rajon Rondo, Chris Paul, Giannis, Kenneth Faried, Joel Embiid, and for the rookies, Ben Simmons, DeJounte Murray, Jamal Murray, Pascal Siakam, Chris Dunn, Jaylen Brown, Brandon Ingram, Furkan Korkmaz, Sabonis, and Taurean Prince. Portland at the 1 spot. I believe we won 30 games. Quickly check that out. Yes, we won 30 games. The Miami Heat won 31 games? There's just something wrong. There's something wrong in this simulation. I wonder if there was an injury. I really don't know. I'd have to check games played. He's just not... No, played every game this season for the most part. Played every game this season. Was Dwayne Wade healthy? A little less healthy. Man. And Chris Bosh, maybe he wasn't healthy. I think something needs to change. There's not good things happening in Miami. Philadelphia fell out of the playoffs. Wizards being the first seed. Raptors the second seed. Celtics with the third seed with Rondo, Paul Pierce, Julius Randle, Miles Turner, and Avery Bradley. The Pacers hanging around. Is Dwight hurt? Dwight injured. The Cavs making a little bit of noise with Nate Robinson, Dion Waiters, Jabari Parker, Paul Millsap they received, and Kyrie injured. Pistons, Bucks, Magic, all hanging around the same. And the Golden State Warriors here at the 6th seed. But Portland at the number 1, OKC at 2, Pelicans 3, Utah 4, Mavs at 5 with Embiid and Dirk. And Kobe, just on the brink of the playoffs, couldn't make it. They got Sean Marion. But the addition of Brandon Ingram, I guess, just wasn't enough. Really didn't provide much in his rookie year. The Clippers dead last after losing Blake, with only J.J. Redick and DeJounte Murray in the 80 overall. DeAndre Jordan in the 80 overall club on their team. Minnesota hanging around here. Very interesting. We'll go round by round. Portland, Dallas, OKC, New Orleans, Washington, Indiana, Boston, and the Magic. And here in the conference finals is Portland and OKC and Washington. They got Jimmer Fredette, who's an 87 overall. They replaced Bradley Beal. They replaced John Wall with Jimmer Fredette. And John Wall's got to be kicking himself in the ass. It is the Thunder, who beat Portland in 7. Who took over in Game 7? They just couldn't do it. Kevin Durant with 30. Reggie Jackson and Westbrook both with double-doubles. Can OKC finally get over the hump? 2-1 OKC, 3-1. And that will do it. And Russell Westbrook wins not only his first finals, but a finals MVP. Congratulations to OKC, who win the 2017 championship. Paul Pierce finally retires, as does Joe Johnson, Manu Ginobili, Boris Diaw. We know what time it is. Can the Nets maybe get number 1? The Clippers don't even have their pick. The Bulls do. As we know, the Celtics took Jason Tatum in real life with this pick. But they get to 3, so it might not be Tatum, but they are in position. They jump up, and can they continue to draft well? Something that Boston did well enough to get them where they are today. Minnesota number 1, select Jason Tatum. Spurs at 2, take Lauri Markkanen. Now, real quick on the board. Lonzo Ball, De'Aaron Fox, Markelle Fultz, Bam Adebayo, John Isaac, Jared Allen. Hopefully, even Donovan Mitchell. They just got to pick the right guy.
Bruh.
Wow. So the Nets fumble. They just don't. Malik Monk's a solid player. Don't get me wrong. So as I was saying, Malik Monk's a solid player. Don't get me wrong. But when you have options like Donovan Mitchell, De'Aaron Fox, even Lonzo Ball, Bam Adebayo on the table, and you take Malik Monk, a little bit disappointing. And I like Malik Monk. But anyway, we're bringing everybody back. Chris Paul's a free agent. DeMarcus Cousins, Carmelo Anthony might leave after all. Kevin Love as well. This could be stacked. Another stacked free agency class for its time, as Chris Paul is here and DeMarcus Cousins. Maybe Brooklyn offers somebody. They have the cap space. Klay Thompson is here. Giannis, Carmelo Anthony, Kevin Love. Who makes sense for the Brooklyn Nets? We'll see the polarity. Maybe they make a move. Who knows? The Nets actually did make an offer on Chris Paul, but he decides to leave Houston and go to the Orlando Magic. DeMarcus Cousins joins the Nuggets. Klay stays. Carmelo goes to Houston early and teams up with James Harden. Kevin Love stays. Jimmy Butler stays. McCollum stays. Kawhi stays. Chandler Parsons also goes to the Houston Rockets. Very, very interesting. Any other names down here? I don't know if the Nets got anybody. They get Mason Plumlee, they bring back. They bring in Corey Brewer. Not ideal, but progression is the name of the game. And Kristaps Porzingis is an 89 overall. Jamal Murray goes up 4. And these guys, it's such a waste that I can't draft for them. I'm only here to watch. But they could be looking pretty different right now if they just hit on those picks back in 2014. So we'll take a look around the league. Maybe there's some things interesting. If not, we're going to keep it pushing. Damian Lillard wins MVP. Bam Adebayo, Rookie of the Year. Jahlil Okafor, 6-man. LeBron, Defensive Player of the Year. Steven Adams, Most Improved. Frank Vogel and the Dallas Mavericks gets Coach of the Year. All-NBA First Team, Damian Lillard, Bradley Beal, Anthony Davis, Giannis, Joel Embiid. Second Team, Russell Westbrook, Nate Wolters, LeBron James, Julius Randle, Nikola Jokic, who's injured. Kyle Lowry on the third team with Kyrie, Kawhi, Kevin Love, and DeMarcus Cousins. For defensive first team, Paul George, Nate Wolters, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Joel Embiid. Then Chris Paul, DeJounte Murray, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Draymond Green, and DeAndre Jordan. And for the rookies, Bam, Lonzo, Tatum, Fox, Markkanen. And then Fultz, Harry Giles, who actually ends up in Sacramento, Jared Allen, Malik Monk, who I guess had a solid season. Pretty good. And then Dennis Smith Jr. for the 76ers. The Nets did it, baby. 4th seed in the playoffs. They were as high as a 2 seed at one point. Very, very nice. We'll check out the rest of the standings. As the Magic of the 1st seed with Chris Paul, Oladipo, Tobias Harris, Aaron Gordon, Vucevic. This core is almost the exact same as it was in real life at one point, adding Chris Paul. And Chris Paul, he is just a ceiling raiser and a floor raiser. Testament to how good he is. Washington here at the 2nd spot. Detroit still has Darren Williams and Josh Smith and Andre Drummond. And there we are at the 4th spot with Dante Exum, Nick Stauskas, Doug McDermott, Kristaps, Mason Plumlee, Jamal Murray, Andre Blash, he's stuck around, Davis Bertans, Corey Brewer, Mo Harkless. Pretty solid, deep squad. Milwaukee there at the 5th spot as Giannis continues to come into his own. And Eric Bledsoe somehow makes his way there, just like he did in real life. Indiana Pacers at the 6th spot. Who's here at the bottom? Miami once again. Just terrible. I can't even fathom that. But some big free agency decisions coming up. Who knows? Out in the West, the Dallas Mavericks with Ricky Rubio, Jamal Crawford, Bogdan Bogdanovic. A very international team. I'll say that. Portland Trailblazers at the 2nd spot. The Pelicans, Houston with James Harden and Carmelo Anthony. Maybe that was a duo to figure it out. OKC there at the 5th spot. Maybe trouble in paradise there. KD, as I've learned, is on a 1-year deal. As we come to check, I probably went past it because I was looking away. Or I can't even check. There we go. Oh, he re-signed. Never mind. No trouble in paradise. He's staying in OKC. We're going to simulate round by round. I did not expect us to even get past first round. So that's why we keep it pushing as the New Orleans Pelicans do it again. And Anthony Davis wins Finals MVP. Incredible. Kobe Bryant will not be retiring. Neither will Dirk or Jamal Crawford or Stoudemire. I'm taking matters in my own hands. Now, the draft lottery gets a bit less interesting unless we made any moves, which I have no idea. Philly somehow had Miami's pick. They're just in the gutter. And we have pick 26 and 22. Quickly check out the transaction report for any trades. Rocco was traded, Brandon Jennings. Any big trades? Not really. But that's okay. Did we do anything? We did not. We're going to keep it pushing. We're going to go to the NBA draft, see who's selected first. And it's Luka Doncic to the Philadelphia 76ers. Oh my goodness. Wow. The Nets here at 22. Take a random Damon Claxton, not Nick Claxton. And they get the GOAT, Keita Bates Diop. Luka far and away the best player in the class. And this random Damon Claxton and Keita Bates Diop, they will be joining the Brooklyn Nets. Everyone will be coming back. And James Harden is a free agent. Blake Griffin is a free agent. Darren Williams is a free agent. This team might have some tough decisions to make, as James Harden is far and away the best player in this free agency class. We know what he's capable of. We'll check out his stats the last couple of seasons. 22 points per game, 24. The efficiency is incredible. Blake Griffin as well, an option. 17 and 10. Dwight Howard is here. Marcus Smart, restricted, but maybe the Nets make a move. Let's see who goes where. So James Harden does end up returning to the Houston Rockets. Embiid returns. No real craziness at all, honestly. Dwight leaves, and they replace him with Clint Capella to try to keep that Pacers window open. But that's really it. Dante Exum returns. A lot of our guys returned. And not real difference in the roster, to be honest. I believe we actually did end up signing Nate Wolters. Unless it was matched. Yes, it was matched. But we made an offer on Nate Wolters. He accepted, but Dallas matched it. Kristaps continues to get better. So does Exum and Jamal Murray. There could be some real noise, if not this season, next season. But I'm going to take a look around the league, see if there's anything interesting to show you guys, to showcase. But if not, we're going to go to the playoffs. So as much as I would love to showcase some stuff for you guys, there's just not too much going on around the league. But Kobe Bryant, rest in peace to you. And this 40 years old, 89 overall, stayed true to the Lake Show. And he's hooping, man. Even 14 points per game at age 40 is incredible. That's really it. That's all I really have to show you guys for this season. Let's go to the end of the season. Go to the playoffs. Can the Nets finally make some noise? Joel Embiid wins MVP. Luka Rookie of the Year. Jahlil Okafor Sixth Man. Kawhi DPOY. Brandon Ingram Most Improved. And David Allen of the Philadelphia 76ers Coach of the Year. All-NBA First Team, Zach LaVine, Russell Westbrook, AD, Giannis, and Jokic. Second Team, Nate Wolters, Devin Booker, LeBron, Kawhi, Joel Embiid. Third Team, Bradley Beal, Damian Lillard, Julius Randle, Draymond, and DeMarcus Cousins. For the defensive teams, Nate Wolters, PG, Kawhi, AD, and Joel Embiid. Then DeJounte Murray, Rajon Rondo, Giannis, LeBron, and DeAndre Jordan. For the rookie teams, Luka, Trae Young, Marvin Bagley, DeAndre Ayton, and Wendell Carter Jr. Then for the second team, Mikal Bridges, Robert Williams, Mo Bamba, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Aaron Holiday. Here at the sixth spot, a little bit worse than last season. We'll check out the standings, check out anything interesting. Philly just on another level with Zach LaVine. Now they have Luka Doncic, and they have Dennis Smith Jr., DeJuan Blair, Steven Adams, Tony Snell, Davis Bertans. We made a move, or no, he just signed with them. Very interesting. Al Jefferson there to round it out. Chicago with an appearance. De'Aaron Fox, Jimmy Butler, The Wall, Dang, Derek Favors, Jared Solinger, D-Rose off the bench. Ooh, what's his contract situation? He's locked up. I'm surprised by that. Orlando Magic here at the 3 spot. Toronto, Milwaukee. There's Brooklyn, Boston, Miami make it in. Wow, finally. They finally make it in. Is Dwayne Wade still here? Yep, he's just injured. This is not the first time. Washington finally coming down to earth a little bit. This team looks similar to real life as well. They got Otto Porter here. Take out Blake Griffin, and that's pretty much the 2018 Wizards. The Pacers fall from grace. They are not in contention this season. The Hawks there at the bottom, and as for the West, the Pelicans are once again the top with Portland, Utah, Dallas, San Antonio, nice change, Houston, Denver with DeMarcus Cousins now, and Memphis there to round it out with Clippers at the bottom, and Kobe just missed the playoffs. He was a couple of games out, about 4 games out. Can the Nets make any moves? Hey, they win a playoff series. All right. Wow. Okay. Awesome. And we're here in the second round. 2-1. Chicago leading 3-1. And they put us to rest. And very, very, very similar story here as this season to last. Can the Pelicans beat the Sixers? Can they get their revenge? Sixers, Pelicans Game 7. These two are fighting to become a dynasty. And it is 109-108. We'll jump in. Let's see what happens. And here we are, Philly up by 1. With Zach LaVine, Luka Doncic, and Dennis Smith Jr. with their big 3, I guess you could say. Zach LaVine with the ball. No hesitation. Just drills a 3 in their throat. Pause. Tyreek Evans bringing up the ball for the Pelicans. Very interesting scenario here. I think that's Drew Holiday there on the pick and roll. AD down low. Posting up. He's got to make a move. Passes out to Tyreek Evans, who is hooping in this simulation. Evans off the screen. No good. Davis Bertans with the rebound. Is Philly going to get their second ring after drafting Luka? They won last year and drafted Luka. If that happened in real life, I don't even know. I wish, man. I'm a Sixers fan, as you know. Wow, that was an easy transition dunk there for Tyreke Evans. You know, hopefully we make some noise this season, but it's looking grim. But who knows? Zach LaVine with the ball now. A screen there by Al Jefferson. Passes over to Dennis Smith, to Luka, to Bertans, who's injured in the corner. Off to LaVine. Spin move. Gets down low. No good. New Orleans has a chance to tie or take the lead as Al-Farouq Aminu's the one pushing it in transition. Drew Holiday now with the ball. Is the AI going to be stupid, or are they going to do something? They get it to their best player, guarded by Al Jefferson with a fadeaway. It's good. Anthony Davis ties it up for New Orleans. Can Philly answer? Here we go. Philly with the ball. Zach LaVine, 4 seconds. Has a look. It's good. Zach LaVine puts him up by 2 with 3 seconds. Holiday pushing it up. Half-court heave. It is no good. Zach LaVine hits probably one of the clutchest shots in NBA history as your Sixers win the NBA Finals. Zach LaVine does it as Luka's in the middle celebrating, but Zach LaVine hit the dagger as you see the crowd and the bench going. They have SGA. They drafted SGA. They have Dennis Smith Jr., Luka Doncic, Zach LaVine, SGA. This team's ridiculous. We'll check out the box score. And Tony Snell, who just gave them 37 and is an 86 overall. That's incredible. I guess he fouled out because he wasn't even... Nope. Didn't even foul out. But this team is loaded. Shea doesn't even play. That's how loaded this team is. And for New Orleans, Drew Holiday, Tyreke Evans, AD, and Andrew Bynum. But the Sixers get it done once again. They're your NBA champions. Zach LaVine is finals MVP. We know the drill. Goodbye, Kobe. And Powell goes with him. Very fitting. Go here to draft lottery. And the Cavs get number 1. The Nets are at 6. They made a trade with Sacramento. We'll check that out right now. What was that trade and how did they get that pick? Or maybe it's from a previous trade. I think it was. And I think it was the Paul Pierce trade. Wow. So this changes a lot because now this puts them in position to get a guy like an RJ Barrett. Maybe John Morant falls. Who knows? We're going to go to the draft. Let's see. NBA draft time. Cavs on the clock. And they get Zion. The eventual replacement for LeBron. Many deemed him to be the next LeBron in terms of athletic ability and maybe even potential. Who knows? But obviously hasn't showed that in real life to his fullest extent. But we're going to keep it pushing. Cleveland gets their replacement. Clippers at 2. They get John Morant. At 3 here for the Hornets, they get RJ Barrett. PJ Washington goes 4 to the Wizards. Hawks at 5. Make a trade. They trade for Dario Saric. Phoenix in position. Oh, they draft the bust. They draft one of the biggest busts in recent memory, Jarrett Culver. I thought they would add to that star-studded young lineup. Hopefully the Nets don't make a similar mistake. Cam Johnson becomes a Brooklyn Net. I think that is a very solid pick for them. And they have another pick here in the first round. Number 18, they take Goga Badotsky, who has had somewhat of an NBA career. Drafted by the Pacers in real life. And then Moses Brown in the second round. Wow, very solid selection there. Cam Johnson, only a 73. Could have had Matisse Thybulle, even Kobe White. But we know the type of player that he is. I think very solid draft for the Nets, all things considered. They bring back their guys. Bradley Beal's a free agent, so is John Wall. Maybe they reunite. Who knows? But Kristaps is a free agent. So is Kyrie Irving. Now, this offseason in real life, the Nets were able to obtain both Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. Are the Nets going to make a move on the 27-year-old Kyrie Irving, who in this scenario has not had any sort of issues that we know of, and is a very solid 20-8 guy? Even though they have pieces, what do? Very intrigued to see even Bradley Beal's an option. Who knows? Maybe they make some sort of move. Let's see. The New York Knicks win the Kyrie Irving sweepstakes, something that was heavily rumored in real life, and they get it done here. Kyrie Irving is a New York Knick. Porzingis returns to the Nets. Towns returns. Bradley Beal goes to the struggling Clippers. And John Wall is the replacement for the Cavs. He replaces Kyrie Irving. And that's really it. I mean, not a huge free agency class outside of Kyrie Irving. But we're going to go here to development. Jamal Murray gets better, and this team is looking good. This team could make a run in an Eastern Conference that is pretty weak. Who knows? But I think the goal is we'll give him his retirement tour. We're going to go to current day in 2024. We'll simulate that season. That'll be the end. I know this is a long video, but I hope you guys are enjoying it. Let's see. Maybe there's something interesting to show you. So a couple of teams to show you guys. So first up, we got the New York Knicks. Kyrie Irving is leading the helm now. Anything is possible. But, you know, anything can be done with Kyrie Irving, right? I think that this could be a playoff team. They have DeJounte Murray, Bam Adebayo, Marvin Bagley. Even Glenn Robinson III is coming into his own a little bit. Better than he has in real life. So maybe they make some noise. Who knows? Then we got the Phoenix Suns. I wanted to highlight them last season, but I wanted to give them one more year of development. Karl-Anthony Towns, Andrew Wiggins, as we've shown previously, Lonzo Ball, Jaylen Brown, Colin Sexton, and they just drafted Jarrett Culver as well. And they have Darius Garland. This roster is stacked. Lonzo being at the helm for them, and this simulation being an 88 overall so far to this point. This team could really make some noise this season. And then last but not least, the Minnesota Timberwolves. Not a lot to showcase, but Jason Tatum's gotten better. They have D'Angelo Russell, who's in the 90 overall club, and Ben Simmons is right there on the cusp as well. They got Jaren Jackson, Dwight Howard, Tyler Hero. This team could make noise, but who knows? We're going to go to us real quick, and you guys see the roster. I think we could be a strong playoff team, maybe playoff title contenders. Who knows? Let's get into it. Anthony Davis, MVP. Zion, Rookie of the Year. Jahlil Okafor, Sixth Man. AD DPOY. John Collins, Most Improved. And David Allen of the Sixers wins Coach of the Year. For the first team, it's Curry, Lillard, who's, I guess, oh wow, done for the season. Huge. Anthony Davis, LeBron, and Nikola Jokic. Then it's D'Angelo Russell, Nate Walters, Kawhi Leonard, Giannis, and Embiid. Then Lonzo, Devin Booker, Julius Randle, Luka, Karl-Anthony Towns on the third team. Nate Walters, defensive first team with George, Davis, Kawhi, Embiid. With Phil Pressey of the Lakers, Markelle Fultz of the Heat, Giannis, Draymond Green, Miles Turner for the rookies, Zion, John Morant, RJ Barrett, Brandon Clark, and Bol Bol. Wow, what was his season looking like to be on all rookie first team? 9-5, terrible shooting splits, makes sense. Jackson Hayes, Gabriel Samuels, PJ Washington, Rui Hachimura on the Heat as well, and Darius Garland to round it out. We were the second seed in the East. We'll check out the rest of the standings. Philly, far and away the best team, and they are scary. Dennis Smith Jr., Zach LaVine, Luka, Tristan Thompson, Al Jefferson, Shea, Brook Lopez, John Henson. This team is stacked. But here we are at the second seed. 50 games, won. Dante Exum, Jamal Murray, Doug McDermott. Kristaps is becoming a superstar in front of our very eyes. Mason Plumlee, Clifford Black, Malik Monk, TJ Warren we received. I guess we got to check out that trade. And we also got Matthew Dellavedova, who we signed. Nick Stauskas and Brandon Knight we also traded for. We made some moves. We made some moves indeed. I guess we could check that out now. Any huge trades? What did we do? We traded away TJ. Oh, we traded away Cam Johnson. And we got TJ Warren. Goran Dragic was on the move. Chris Middleton got traded for Mike Conley. That's a pretty nice trade. Jay Crowder for Avery Bradley. And then where's the other trade we made? Maybe I'm tweaking out. But anyway, first game of the first round. 2 games in now. 2-1 us. 3-1 Brooklyn. And we get out of the first round. We're taking on Chicago with De'Aaron Fox, They have Donovan Mitchell. They drafted both Fox and Mitchell, Jimmy Butler, Kevon Looney, Frank Kaminsky, Derrick Rose off the bench. This team's solid. This team could beat us. We are inexperienced. Game 1, they win. They win big. Game 2, we do come back and win. We're down 2-1, down 3-1. I am not surprised one bit. Chicago, Philly, Dallas, Portland. Philly and Dallas. An incredible matchup. Embiid, in this alternate reality, gets the NBA Finals against his current team, and they win Game 1. Sixers take Game 2. Dallas, Philly, it's going back and forth. 3-2 Philly. We're going to Game 7 once again. And Dallas had a lead early, but they're going to pull it away. The Dallas Mavericks and Joel Embiid get the job done. Wow. And Dirk retires a champion. Congratulations, Dirk. Darren Williams retires. Not LeBron, but Bernard James retires as well. Very huge news. We go to the draft lottery. Quickly check it out. Doubt there's going to be anything in here for us. But the Grizzlies get number 1. And this is the LaMelo Ball draft class. The Anthony Edwards draft class. The James Wiseman draft class. We'll quickly take a look who goes top 5. As the Grizzlies take LaMelo over Anthony Edwards, Boston gets Anthony Edwards. Halliburton 3 to the Hawks. Kings get James Wiseman. Feel like that might have been a missed opportunity for them. Patrick Williams goes 5. Maybe not. Maybe that was the best pick that they could have made. Aaron Nesmith at 27. Nice pick for the Nets here. If there was ever a time to get a free agent, now would be the time. Steph Curry, DeMarcus Cousins once again, and probably some more down the list. Jamal Murray's a free agent, but this can be worked around. Would Steph Curry become a Net? Does he plan on leaving Golden State? I don't think so. If there was a time to make a move, now would be the time. Let's see what happens. And absolutely nothing has changed. Nothing drastic. No big moves. We know what teams are good. We know what teams are not. We'll check player progression. This team continues to improve. And now that they have a playoff experience under their belt, this team could be in position to win a championship. Dwayne Wade is going to retire once again. Great. He just didn't retire, I think, after he gave him that farewell tour, so that's great. We're going to go to the end of the season. Let's see if the Nets can do it. Luka Doncic gets his first MVP before he's even getting one in real life. He was on track to get one, but the injury might derail that. LaMelo, Rookie of the Year. Jahlil Okafor, 6-man. AD, DPOY. Robert Williams, Most Improved. And the Sixers go 65-17. Nate Wolters, the unknown, is all NBA first team with Steph Curry, Luka, AD, Nikola Jokic, D'Angelo Russell, Lillard, Giannis, LeBron, Embiid on the second team. David Stockton has become a star. Wow. Just completely under the radar. All NBA third team. Westbrook, Kawhi, Porzingis, Turner. No KD. No KD. Been very quiet. Walters, George, Davis, Giannis, Miles Turner on the first team, all defense. Second team, DeJounte Murray, Mikal Bridges, Kawhi, LeBron, Joel. Rookie first team, LaMelo, Wiseman, Edwards, Okoro, Halliburton. Then Anthony, Najee, Achua, Okongwu, and Toppin. We were the 5th seed. Very unfortunate, but we'll check out the standings. Not far and away the best team as Cleveland here at the 2nd seed with John Wall, Josh Hart, Mario Hezonja, who's developed. Zion, Wendell Carter, Jabari Parker. This team's really good. Tony Parker off the bench. But Philly there in the 1st seed, we know what they're about. Detroit basketball at the 3rd spot. Chicago and Brooklyn there as well. Down at the very bottom is the Atlanta Hawks, Miami. LeBron just wasting his career down there. Nowhere to be seen. Absolutely incredible. San Antonio basketball is back. Defense is their name. And this is Kawhi Leonard's team. Dallas here at the 2 spot. The Lakers, without Kobe, finally make it into the playoffs, and they're the 3rd seed. Minnesota, Portland, New Orleans falling off a little bit. And at the very bottom is the Utah Jazz. We got the play-in this time around. But let's just simulate the play-in game by game. Chicago in a rematch. 2-1, 3-1. We're done. I was not surprised. We are just not there. The Cavs get it done. I didn't mean to simulate so fast. That's my fault. It was Cavs, Lakers, and the Cavs get it done. John Wall wins a championship. Tony Parker retires. Dwayne Wade finally retires. We're going to go to the lottery. We're going to try to speed this up a little bit. And the Wizards have 2 top 10 picks. Nets have zip. That's fine. We'll go right past the NBA draft. We're getting to that point. We get Isaiah Jackson. Pretty cool. Oh, I don't want that. Goga Bitadze will bring back. And Clint Capella might be the top free agent. And if that's the case, then we're just going to keep it pushing. It's Chris Paul, actually. Chris Paul, Carmelo Anthony, and Clint Capella. Quickly show you guys where everyone went. Then we'll head straight to next season. Tatum returns. Fox goes back to Chicago. Chris Paul joins his banana boat brother, LeBron James, in Miami as they lose Fultz to the Los Angeles Lakers. Carmelo stays. John Isaac leaves the Atlanta Hawks. And the Nets didn't really do much. They brought TJ Warren back, brought back Doug McDermott, re-signed most of our guys, and it looks like they're going to run it back. You know, this has become a what if. And, I mean, while Porzingis and Exum and Murray is a great tandem, they bring in Michael Carter-Williams. Oh, I guess we had him last season. I didn't even notice. That was my bad. But this team just needs something else. But we're here. We're at next season. Again, not much has changed. We'll monitor the Heat a little bit. But we're going to go to the end of the season. We're really picking up the speed now. Hopefully the Nets can at least win some sort of championship to make this what if worth it. Luka goes back-to-back. Evan Mobley, Rookie of the Year. Donovan Mitchell, Sixth Man of the Year. With the Pacers, he left Chicago to go to Indiana. Good for him. Giannis, DPOY. Hartenstein most improved for the Sixers, man. That Sixers team's unstoppable. All-NBA first team, Curry, Walters, Luka, AD, Jokic. Second team, Lonzo, Lillard, Giannis, LeBron, and Embiid. Third team, Stockton, Westbrook, Porzingis, Bagley, Towns. Defensive first team, Walters, Lonzo, Giannis, AD, Embiid. And for the second team, PG, DeJounte Murray, Jonathan Isaac, Kawhi, and Willie Hernan-Gomez, who is a 92 overall. All-rookie first team, Evan Mobley, Josh Giddey, Scotty Barnes, Jeremiah Robinson-Earl, and Alperen Şengün. And the second team, Cade Cunningham on the second team. Wow. He didn't even go number 1. Franz Wagner, Jalen Green, Davion Mitchell, and Killian Hayes. We're the 4th seed. Check out the standings. See if there's any surprises. But Philly just cements themselves to be a potential dynasty. Far and away the best team in the league, with Cleveland far behind them. I mean, Cleveland got it done over Philly last time. So we're here at the 4th spot. And the Pacers just missed the playoffs. This team is pretty solid on paper. Oh, we traded Michael Carter-Williams, so we got to check that out now. And then for the West, we got Phoenix. I knew they were coming. Everyone is starting to develop. Wiggins, Jaylen Brown. This team has 490s. 5. They got Clint Capella as well. They signed him. They signed him. This team is probably going to win the championship. Lakers are there. And at the bottom, we got Utah. Extreme fall from grace. But we'll check out the trades, see if there's anything massive. Ty Lawson gets traded to the Spurs. Naz Reid, LaMarcus Aldridge for Domantas Sabonis. That's a pretty big trade. And then we end up getting rid of Michael Carter-Williams. We got Ricky Rubio. Pretty solid. Then Malcolm Moore was traded. Jeremy Lin still hanging around. But that's it. The biggest trade. Chris Bosh I saw was traded. But Aldridge for Sabonis. That's pretty big. So here we are. We're against Milwaukee. We could win this series. Against Giannis is going to be a little bit tough, though. They got Shabazz Muhammad, Bol, John Collins. They're up 2-1. It's 2-2 now. 3-2. 3-3. Game 7. We actually do win, and we're facing the Philadelphia 76ers. We're going home. It's unfortunate, but they're just a dynasty. If I could have that in real life, man, that would be just incredible. And it's going to be Sacramento and Philly. Phoenix couldn't get out of the second round. This Sacramento team had Devin Booker. They used to have DeMarcus Cousins, but now they have Bam Adebayo, Kevin Knox, James Wiseman, Cade Cunningham. Pretty solid team, but if I had to bet house money, it would be the Philadelphia 76ers. They were just outclassed in every facet of basketball. Player retirements, Chris Bosh finally goes. Carmelo does as well, letting them go. We're going to go to the draft lottery, see if anything crazy happens. Do we have any picks? We do not. The Dallas Mavericks get number 1. And this draft class, with Paolo, we could see Paolo and Embiid. I want to check that out. And they take Jabari Smith Jr. Wow. I mean, not a terrible pick. Chet Holmgren was there. Wow, Paolo's falling. Paolo fell to 4. Wow, that's incredible. And we get Jalen Duren. Very solid NBA player. Good size, but very interesting. Jabari Smith Jr. was in talks to go number 1, but Paolo ended up coming far and away from that. But here we are. Bradley Beal is once again a free agent. And yeah, he's the best free agent on the board. Markelle Fultz is unrestricted. Clint Capella, Bam Adebayo is unrestricted. A move could be made. Let's see where everyone goes once again. Luka returns. Ayton returns. Jaren Jackson Jr. stays. Trae Young stays with the Clippers. Clint Capella goes to the Kings, who were just in the NBA Finals. Marvin Bagley sticks with the Knicks. Fultz goes to the Rockets and teams up with James Harden. You can't say that the Rockets aren't giving Harden at least some help. And the Nets really didn't do much. They bring in Jay Crowder. And then that's really it. And DeLon Wright. So you can't change bad management. You can't change bad teams. Bad teams stay bad for a reason. We got about 2 years left. I just made Chris Paul retire when he's playing in real life. My fault. But we're going to go to the end of the season. We're trekking towards the end. Luka does it again. Paolo Banchero, Rookie of the Year. Ben Simmons, 6th man. Giannis DPOY. Jalen Smith, Most Improved. Curry, Clutch Player. And Lawrence Coles of the Cavs gets Coach of the Year. For the first team, it is Luka, Jokic, Curry, Davis, David Stockton. Second team, Ayton, who's a 95. Karl Anthony Towns, Marvin Bagley, Lonzo, Giannis. Then Willie Hernangomez, LaMelo Ball, John Wall, Jason Tatum, and Donovan Mitchell. Then Giannis, Ayton, Davis, Bagley, Leonard on the first team of defense. Then Towns on defensive second team. Wow. Drummond, Hernangomez, Embiid, and LeBron. For the rookie teams, Paolo, Jabari Smith, Chet Holmgren, Hayward Highsmith, who's in the G League. This game is broken, dude. And one person on the second team. Awesome. We're the 5th seed. You guys know the drill. This team is not winning a championship, but the Cavs far and away the best team this time around, and their team is really damn good. Philly there at the 3rd seed, Boston at the 2nd spot. Anything could happen, right? But Phoenix, really just a little underwhelming. Houston finally gets there in the 2nd seed with Fultz and Harden. Maybe that duo will get them a championship. But who knows? We're going to simulate the play-in. We're getting Chicago one more time. We're becoming bitter rivals. And we're gone. Wow. Terrible. Terrible, terrible. Can Cleveland do it again? And with no surprises... Well, the Nuggets is a bit of a surprise. I'm not going to lie. But I got Cavs, and they do win. Zion Williamson gets it done for the Cleveland Cavaliers as Chris Paul retires. Joakim Noah is on the Sixers. And then that's really it for the retirements. We'll check out the draft lottery. We only got 2 years left, ladies and gentlemen. But the Nets have 5 via Charlotte. I guess they made a trade. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. So we'll go to the draft here. We'll check it out. And this was the Wemby draft, and Curry gets Wembanyama. Scoot Henderson to the Knicks. Brandon Miller to the Pacers. Asar Thompson to the Pelicans. Are we going to get Amen? We do get Amen Thompson. I like Amen Thompson. He shows a lot of grit on the court. He just got into a fight and beat the crap out of Tyler Hero. And we get Grady Dick. Great pickup. Hey, you know what? Not for nothing, but this team could really make... Oh, we trade for Mike Conley. That's a solid move. We had 3 first-round picks, and we got Mohamed Goye. Very solid draft here. Wemby is just far and away the best player. But great draft here. Might be too little too late, unfortunately. But David Stockton might be the best free agent available. I'm just going to do him a favor, Goga. You're not coming back on $12 million. Kyrie is here. Towns is here. Very interesting. This team has no money. And Goga's their only free agent. Do I throw a little heave and try to help them out a little bit? If we take a look at their contract situation, it is abysmal. But I'm going to do them a favor. I'm trading away Dante Exum. I want to help them out. D Rose could be cool because clearly something is not working. Mo Bamba. Mitchell Robinson's a 90 overall. Drummond as well. Like a trade like this could be great. And honestly, I kind of want to do it. D'Lo. Low-key. We're going to help them out just a little bit. It is what it is. I just want to see them possibly win a championship. We know the direction the team was going. And yeah, that's all I'm going to do. Dante Exum being on the team, he was not helping. But we'll check out the league once again. Give another run through. So I went a little too quick. But Ja Morant actually signed with the Clippers. Oh, wait. Why didn't it just say he resigned then? That made it seem like it was something big. Yeah, no big free agents changing. And I don't think the Nets did much of anything. We'll quickly check out the squad as we have Fultz now. And yeah, that's really it. This team is not destined for much. The team's getting worse. I tried to throw a Hail Mary. Maybe it'll help. But this, I think, will be the last. Well, no, I guess we got technically one more as we approach the modern era. We went through the entire cycle of the LeBron era. And yeah, I'll take a look around the league. If there's anything to show you, I'll present it. If not, we're going straight to the end of the season. Zion Williamson, MVP. Wemby, Rookie of the Year. Jabari Parker, Sixth Man of the Year. Giannis, DPOY. Chet Holmgren, Most Improved. Lillard, Clutch Player. And Lawrence Coles of the Cavs, Coach of the Year. Zion, Luka, Jokic, LaMelo, Kyrie on the first team. Giannis, Curry, Stockton, Fox, Ball on the second. Towns, Ayton, Isaiah Hartenstein, Willian and Gomez, and Damian Lillard on the third team. Giannis, Towns, Ayton, Drummond, Isaac on defensive first team. Porzingis as a 97 overall. Lonzo, Turner, Embiid, and LeBron on the defensive second team. Wemby, rookie first team with Anthony Black, Scoot Henderson, Lee Russell, who I don't know, and Noah Clowney. Then Brandon Miller, Azar Thompson. Like, the rookie teams are broken, dude. We're the 6th seed. We're getting bounced. We just got 4-0 sweeped. Let's see what happens. Whoa. The Knicks took the Cavs to 7. The first seeded Kings get eliminated in the first round. Wow. Okay. And yeah, I'm going to keep pushing. Cleveland and Boston, and then Denver and Houston are making the run. Of course. And it's the Houston Rockets with Zeke Naji averaging 22 and 8. That is a guy that steps up for you big. And Anthony Edwards, if the Celtics win this championship, it's just going to be absolutely incredible and a smack in the face. But the Rockets are going to do it unless the Houston Rockets with Kevin Knox gets it done. James Harden is a champion. Malik Monk, who left Brooklyn to go to Houston, went to Cleveland for a season, came back to Houston. Wow, we let him go. That's incredible. This organization is terrible. And the Knicks, oh my gosh. And the Celtics make the finals before we even sniff it. Marcus Aldridge retires. Mike Conley, who we traded away, retires. The final season, ladies and gentlemen. Thunder, the first seed, go to the draft. Not much happening for us. Oh, we're actually at pick 5. And we take Rob Dillingham. incredible. This draft class to me is one of the weakest in NBA history. Ron Holland, we take. We're gonna go to the end. We'll check out the Zachary Ricochet didn't even go number 1. This auto-generated guy did. What does that go to show you about this draft class? Anyway, we'll bring in Oso, but we're gonna let those two go. And then yeah, if this was a rebuild, champions every season. John Isaac, could you be the savior? Is there a chance? No, we're broke. We're piss poor. And Nick Stauskas is the best free agent we could sign. All right, this is going to be the final free agency. Let's see who goes where. Isaac stays with Atlanta. LaMelo stays with Memphis. No surprises. None whatsoever. I mean, wait a minute. He returns to Philly after going to Sacramento. Good for you. Go ring chase, pal. Disgusting. Disgusting. Thompson gets better. This team is a dumpster fire. I gave them the chance. I'll auto-generate. We're going to go through each roster. Highlight the guys that maybe could win a championship. But let's just go through right here. This is the final roster. Porzingis, Jamal Murray, Markelle Fultz, Tyus Jones. Just not enough to get it done. Porzingis being the bright spot. We just couldn't get the help around him. Denver was very quiet. This team is really weird. Really strange. Donovan Mitchell. Paul George getting worse. This team made a little bit of noise early. That was the end of it. AD and the Pelicans, they cooled off. They got Kemba now. Drummond and the Pistons, you know, fair play to Drummond. He stuck it out. He stayed with the Pistons through thick and thin. But they got Maxey. Their future's bright. Tony Snell is leading the Toronto Raptors. I have no idea how this guy became the star that he was. Jared Allen here, Terry Rozier. A lot of 80s, but not a lot to look forward to, in my opinion. The Rockets, Harden getting worse. At least he won an NBA championship. Kevin Knox as well. I mean, they could compete. Willie Hernan-Gomez is leading the way now for the Spurs with Kawhi, Lauri Markkanen. Not a lot of team turnover, which is unfortunate. But the Suns, another disappointing team. This team could win it all at any given moment. They just don't. Russell Westbrook, I guess, left the Thunder. Because KD's here all alone. Thunder, another disappointing team. The Timberwolves with Ben Simmons, D'Lo, Jackson Jr. as a 90, and Tatum. Another team that can make moves. Portland, a little disappointing as well. They got Sabonis. And if we take a look here at Jokic, I mean, he has 1 MVP, 8 All-Star appearances, but they could not win an NBA championship. The biggest change is that the Golden State Warriors now won NBA Finals in this entire run. The dynasty is gone, never existed. They made attempts. Maybe they could make it this year. Maybe they can win a championship. There's still a little bit of time. They even have Kuminga. They got Jonathan Kuminga just like they do in real life. Anthony Edwards here on the Wizards now. He signed. I guess Boston didn't match that contract. I missed that. Scotty Barnes is here as well. Otto Porter. No Bradley Beal anymore. Oh, never mind. I thought it was the Cavs. But this team was special. Luka and the Sixers. Another team that could easily get it done. But 2 NBA championships, 3 MVPs. Not dynasty level, but they were a formidable force. Giannis, very quiet. A lot of awards and accolades, but no championship. The Bulls, very quiet. Jimmy Butler here. Derrick Rose. Luckily had a career that was worth, a little bit more than real life, even though he is an MVP. The Cavs, far and above expectations. The Celtics making a run to the NBA Finals with their best player being Miles Turner. Incredible for them. John Morant and Trae Young, an interesting duo, but there's just not enough size on this team. DeAndre Ayton and LaMelo. Pretty solid duo. But again, not enough in my opinion. Isaac being the leading team in overall for the Hawks. Again, solid, but this team has been the disappointment. They have Jalen Green, who they drafted. Dennis Smith Jr., who they signed, I guess. Yep, they just signed him last season. And yep, they got Jared Culver. They brought in from free agency last season, and they have Jalen Brunson, who's done jack. He's done nothing. But LeBron James, probably this, if not the biggest, second biggest change. 5 MVPs, 2 NBA championships, none in this simulation. Not one. The Miami Heat were the biggest disappointment outside of the Golden State Warriors. Kyrie Irving joining his 4th or 5th team at this point. His 3rd team. Leaving New York to go to Charlotte. I'm not even surprised. Utah, they had a couple of seasons of greatness, but no championship to their name either. The Kings had a run or two, but just couldn't get over the hump. Kind of like the Suns in real life with Devin Booker. The Knicks with Evan Mobley, Marvin Bagley, DeJounte Murray. This team, pretty solid. The Lakers, they get Jaylen Brown. They actually traded for Jaylen Brown. Wow, good for them. But again, not much there as well. Magic, quiet. Embiid, I guess having some injuries here and there, but he won an MVP, he won a championship, and that's going to do it. We're going to simulate one more season and see who wins it all one more time. Zion Williamson does it again. MVP. Nick Smith Jr. Rookie of the Year. Malik Monk, 6th Man of the Year. Giannis, Defensive Player of the Year. Wemby, Most Improved. 8 and Clutch Player of the Year. And 68 and 14 for the Cavs and Lawrence Coles. The first team, the final first team of the video. Zion, Luka, Jokic, Giannis, Karl-Anthony Towns, Curry, Hartenstein, Edwards, Russell, Okongwu, and Keegan Murray, Jaden Ivey, Kyrie Irving, Victor Wembanyama, Bam Adebayo. For the defensive teams, Giannis, Towns, Isaac Okongwu, Mo Bamba, and then Drummond, Ayton, Jackson Jr., Bagley, Turner. And the rookie teams are messed up. So we're actually the 3 seed this time around, and we're facing Boston. So before we do that, check out the standings. Cleveland just blowing teams out of the water. 127 points per game is just probably best it's best in the NBA. And their differential is also far and away the best. So Cleveland at the first spot. Philly, 2nd seed. We're the 3rd seed. Wizards. And then all the way at the bottom, Charlotte Hornets. LeBron wasting away in Miami. Incredible. Sacramento wins 60 games with Cade Cunningham and Devin Booker, James Wiseman, Clint Capella. Phoenix just hanging in there, doing their thing. They traded Jaylen Brown for Brandon Ingram, and I guess a whatever move. Dallas here at the 5th spot and down at the bottom. The New Orleans Pelicans. That is a fall from grace. We'll go round by round. Boston kills us. It is what it is. No, the Clippers are here with Ja Morant, Clifford Black, who was a net at one point, Trae Young, Tyler Hero, Malik Beasley. Maybe I was wrong about their size issue. But it's going to be... I'm not wrong at all because Embiid took him to town. Cleveland and Dallas could happen in real life. This could happen in real life if Luke is healthy. Game 1, Cleveland. Game 2, Cleveland. Game 3, Cleveland. And Game 4, Cleveland. Zion Williamson just dominated. Dominated the sim as soon as he entered. LeBron retires. Or does he? D-Rose retires. We're going to check out the league history. And then that'll really be it. So we started here. LeBron won MVP. Then Anthony Davis, Jokic, Lillard, Embiid, Davis, Luka, Zion. Anthony Davis changed his career trajectory. Even though he's an NBA champion in real life, probably a top 75 player of all time, he really cemented himself probably in that top 20 conversation. Rookie of the years, they are what they are. 6-man, same. DPOYs were dominated mostly by the same people. AD with 5 DPOYs. Giannis with 4. Okay, sorry. So here we are. The Grizzlies beat the Heat in 7 in their first series. Our first season was incredible. Then the Pelicans. Then the Sixers. OKC managed to get one. The Pelicans again. Pelicans were in 3-4 finals. Philly gets another one. Dallas beats Philly in 7. Then the dominance. Cleveland, Philly, Cleveland. Houston snuck it in there. And then Cleveland once again. Just off of this trajectory, Cleveland could probably win another 2 or 3 championships. But what an incredible resim. The what if showed that the Golden State dynasty doesn't happen. Miami doesn't go back to Cleveland. He doesn't win a championship ever again. He misses out on 2 championships. Kevin Durant got 1. Westbrook got 1. Harden got 1. So honestly, would the NBA be different? Which was my question in the beginning of the video. The answer was indeed yes. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys want to see another one like it, please let me know. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.